Rolling, rolling on the river. Rolling. Hello everybody, what's good? I hope you're well. Welcome. And if I've not said so already, Happy New Year, Happy New Lockdown. Yeah, we're in another lockdown. How are you feeling about it? How are you coping? Let me know. I honestly hope everyone is doing really well. Last year, 2020, a madness. But to be honest, 2021 could potentially continue to be the same. So I've decided that 2020, we're keeping it rolling. You know, I've not entered 2021 yet. We're still in 2020 season, and it will remain 2020 season until the world and the events of the world decides that it wants to show me something different. If you want to be in 2021, that's up to you. That's fine for you. But as for me and my household, it's 2020. Happy 2020! Even though 2020 was a madness, I've had so many conversations with people where they've said and shared that they've actually learned so much. And in fact, my friend the other day, he said, you know, last year was mad, but he's never learned more in a year in his life. Which I totally got, but also Dan, you, my friend, have a PhD. I would hope that you would have learned more in a year than this, like, what? But no, totally get what you're saying. I learned so much last year, and so in this video I thought I would just share some of what 2020 has taught me. So today you're going to hear 10 of my lessons from 2020. At the end of the video, my last point of the 10 is actually my theme for the year, my phrase, quote for the year. So please stick around so you can see what that is. When I was thinking about them, I realised they kind of broke down into 3 categories. Category 1 was things that I learned about myself. Category 2 is things that I learned about my outlook on people or the world. And the final category is things that I actually needed to do, you know, putting some practical kind of steps in. This fly, this is not your moment. So yeah, let's get into it. And if you wanna like use those 3 categories to actually do this exercise for yourself, to do some reflection, please do it and make sure you share it with me. I'd love to hear about it. Okay, so number 1, remember who you are. Whenever I say that or think about that, I think of the scene in Black Panther. Show them who you are. The accent, better than Forest Whitaker's. Sorry, Forest. The strength of the Black Panther has been stripped away. No disrespect, Forest, like you're amazing. The accent, a bit beefy, but it's fine. It's fine. Remember who you are. There's just things that I found that I forgot about myself over the year. Little things like the fact that I need music in my life. Like, music is a game changer, and it's a game changer that I never brought in the game for a chunk of 2020. Like, my house was quite quiet for maybe a couple of months, and I think that really has an impact on me. So yeah, just remember who I am, things that help me, the fact that I need music, the fact that I'm hella sensitive. I am a sensitive soul, and I think it's important for me to remember, actually, I'm sensitive. I am a crybaby. I do cry at stuff. I do need to cry at stuff, and I need to kind of acknowledge that side of myself and let that just be, which leads me into my second point. Love your shadow. What on earth does that mean, Dana? Hold on, I'll tell you. So I am doing a counselling course at the moment, and one of the things that we are looking at is a psychologist called Carl. Is it Carl? I can't remember his first name, but his surname is Jung. And one of Jung's kind of theories or thoughts is that we all have a shadow. We all have parts of ourselves that we don't really like, that we've either been taught or told that they're not good, that they're things that we should like kind of put to a side. And so all of that stuff is known as our shadow. If you think about Peter Pan, he literally has a shadow that is like separate from himself. And that's kind of what we do with the stuff that we don't like. But Jung, what he says is actually, it's not about separating those things, it's about integrating those things, that we should kind of learn to bring them together. And I have found this to be really true for myself. I think I spent a lot of time telling myself that certain parts of myself is bad, when actually I just need to learn to work with it and not like against it. So love your shadow. We're in the second category now, kind of looking out to other people. And so number 3, don't assume the worst of people, think the best. My church is brilliant, and we actually have like a list of cultures that we're trying to cultivate, and one of them is, I think, the best culture. I think we all do that thing where we either think people think too highly of us or too lowly, too little of us. Just assuming in general. I might actually make this point, like, don't assume, because it makes a out of you and me. Yeah, so just assuming stuff is no good. Ask the questions. Oh, which leads me on to point 4. Ask for help, ask questions, just like check in to make sure things are all right. I think that definitely comes off the back of point 3 about assuming. I've been guilty over 2020 of like assuming people are okay, that they're like happy, that our friendship is cool. I've been at risk of assuming that people don't want to help me, all of those things. And if I just asked and checked in, I would have known the truth, and that would have like helped me, and it would have helped other people as well. But also, Auntie Google, Auntie YouTube, they are there. They are family, they are friends. If I have a question about anything, I can ask people, but I can also just go and Google it. I don't need to stay stuck in a place for too long, not knowing what to do. There are resources, and I need to use them and utilize them. Number 5, and the last one that's kind of outlook about people and stuff, is grace, and more grace. We all need grace. We all need tons of it. If there was a year to prove that, 2020 was that year. Everyone went through huge things. We all had the huge change of being inside our house. We all know that people lost loved ones and family. If you didn't, the fear of losing loved ones and family. And then we've got personal stuff going on in our lives. Yeah, we've all got stuff we're going through, but then I don't think sometimes that people know what they're going through until after they've gone through it. I got to the end of the year and suddenly realised that I'd been really impacted by this thing called 2020. Going through it, I thought I was doing a good job, that I was fine. And it wasn't till months later that I was like, rah, no wonder you didn't do that. No wonder you didn't do that, because you were experiencing these feelings. So give people grace. People are gonna mess up. We're not perfect. We're not called to be perfect. So give people grace, please. Grace, and more grace. Everyone needs it. Everyone. Everybody! The final section, what I need to do. These are more like practical, looking outwards, like let's get moving, Dana. Things. So number 6, this is huge for me. Fight for your dreams more than you fight for your fears. Hey. I think it was in December, I took part in something called the Fearless Challenge, and it was one of these free challenge weeks where every day you get kind of a talk from someone and you get set some challenges, and it was really flipping good. I felt like I have the same conversation every year about fear, and as I was having those conversations, this kind of little advert for this Fearless Challenge popped up, so I took part in it. And one of the things that they said, I think it was on like day 2 or 3, that we fight for our fears way more than we fight for our dreams. That when we think, oh yeah, I could do this thing, instead of fighting for it and being like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, we automatically go, oh, I can't do it because, oh, what would people think? And we listen to those voices of, what if in a negative way, then, what if I do what I want to do, and the positive stuff. So I have decided that from now on, I'm going to try and fight for the things that I want and listen to the things that push me towards fighting for that more than the stuff that leads me away from it, that leads me to like just doubt myself. Like, let me actually fight for it. Number 7, plan for what you can and be ready to adjust. I feel like I don't even need to explain it, because 2020, it came, it messed everything up. But I do feel that if I had more of a plan, I would have something that I could adapt. And so I want to plan the heck out of things, because if I do that, at least I've got clear points that I can do. And if I only do 3 of them, that's 3 more than I probably would have done if I didn't make a plan. When things change, when situations get messed up, I have something there written down that I can adjust and adapt to. So yeah, plan for what you can and be ready to adapt or adjust. And that definitely feeds into the whole fighting for my dreams. Like, that's part of the fight. So plan for what you can, but be ready to adapt and adjust. Number 8, really important, review and take stock often. As I said before, 2020 was a whole heap of madness, and I didn't clock how it had impacted me until December. And for me, autumn is always the worst season. I get really tired, my head is all over the place, I feel very low and very down in autumn. And I wonder if part of the reason is that we go through a whole year and we're soldiering on, and then we get to the last stretch, and all the impact and the weight of that year is just weighing on us at the end. And actually I've not or we don't sort through it as we go. And then we get closer to the end of the year, we get more reflective, and we're suddenly working through all these things, all the things that we should have done, all the things we wanted to do. And we've just got that literal weight of the year on us in the last season, along with it being dark, dismal, a long term for people at school. And so, yeah, so one of my ways of trying to combat that is to review and take stock often, to remember the goods, to remember what I feel like God has been saying to me often, because, I forget, we all do. And actually reviewing and taking stock and looking back is a biblical principle. I think was it Joshua, where God told Joshua to build altars to remember what God had done. We need to take time to actually look back and remember. And my 9th point is to literally remember the life lessons, so you don't replay the same mistakes, so you don't need to go through things to relearn the same lessons. So a way that I can do point 9, which is remember the life lessons, is by doing point 8, which is reviewing and taking stock often. Point number 10, for me, this was the biggest thing of the whole year for me, and it has become my phrase for this year, and it is have a go. Have a go. Now, I mentioned before that my church has different cultures that they're trying to cultivate, and this is one of them, a have a go culture. I don't know if you felt it, but at the beginning of lockdown, when everyone was in their homes, suddenly everyone was allowed to be creative. Did you clock that? Everyone was drawing or thutting up videos of themselves doing stuff, and I feel like the world got that people need an outlet. Things just felt much more acceptable. People were doing TikTok like no one's business. It was mad, but it was great. It was freeing. I found it really freeing. I started doing little covers and putting them up on my Instagram and stuff like that. Some of which you can find on my YouTube channel now. I'm gonna do one of those link things that they do. It'll be here. The whole time I was doing it, I was just just have a go, just have a go. But as lockdown 1 ended, I suddenly felt again fearful about, actually, is it still okay to do these things? And I just felt like God was telling me over and over again, have a go, have a go. God never called us to be perfect. He literally called us to have a go, to try things, to step out in faith with him and have a go at stuff. He will see it through, he will finish it. I'm called to just have a go every step of the way. And so that's what I want to do this year. That's a big part of why I'm chatting to myself. Joking, I'm chatting to you, beautiful person who's listening. I don't want to get in my own way. I want to, if I'm going to flop at something, I want to allow myself to actually flop at it. I'm not going to assume that I'm going to flop before I've even had to go. Does that even sense make? It doesn't sense make, mate. It doesn't. So actually just to allow myself to have a go. So that's my phrase for the year. My word for the year is try. So those are 10 of my lessons from 2020. 10 things that 2020 taught me. I would love to know, do you have a phrase or a word for the year? Share it with me, write them in the comments below. And if you want to do this kind of reflective activity in your own time, thinking about what you've learned from the year, and you want to use those 3 categories. The categories were, what have you learned about yourself? What have you learned about your outlook on other people and the world? And finally, what have you learned about what you need to do? Thank you so much for watching. I hope that some of this made sense for you, that it resonated with you, and that you enjoyed hearing about some of my lessons. I can't wait to hear about some of yours. Please share them. But I hope you're doing really, really well, that you have great days, great weeks. I'm sending love and hugs your way, and I'll see you in my next video.